Cage Warriors 102. Rhys McKee is going to be fighting there against Mr. Perry Goodwin. Rhys, you made a pretty impressive debut against Jefferson George. How was the experience making your debut at Cage Warriors? Because there was a lot of anticipation when you signed up to them. How did you find it all?
Yeah, I found it really good. It was good to get started. It was weird to be in the position making my debut on a show again because
Yeah.
obviously I fought with Bama for quite a long time, so it was nice, and it was fresh and again I was happy to get the finish of Jefferson George. Probably not as clean as I would have liked it, but we got it done.
Now, the interesting bit is the lightweight division in Cage Warriors. As you've seen, there's just quite a plethora of talent and exciting fights to be made. So you must be kind of biting the chomps to not obviously you want the gold strap. That's the end goal. But some of the fights and matchups, you must be excited to be looking forward to them as well as Perry as well being in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like obviously I've got this next one with Perry, but like looking at the rest of the division, how could I not be excited at some of the fights? But as you said, the gold belt was very much in my mind, and that's something that I believe I'll have sooner rather than later.
So Perry, have you watched stuff about him? Do you know much about him? Obviously, he's been on Cage Warriors events himself. Have you taken note, or do you just do your thing and then rock up and let it shine?
Man, I pretty much do my thing, but I definitely watch a bit of footage. I get familiar with tendencies
Mm.
and stuff like that, but I'm not an over analyzer by any means. I focus on Rhys McKee all the time, and that's basically me. I
Yeah.
have no fight camps. I just train all year round, and I've been doing this for the last 8 years, and it's worked so far. So I don't believe in looking at Perry for 8 weeks only. It's just keep improving my game.
And let's talk about your gym. Obviously, there's yourself, but just savages. Let's put it that way. Andy Young's going to be fighting Mr. Sam Creasy as well. It's going to be an entertaining fight in its own right. How's the vibe and kind of everything going there at the gym? Because it seems pretty good at the moment from everyone. Well, what I'm seeing
Yeah,
on social media of everyone.
yeah. Like we've had a lot of like amateur shows coming up
Mm.
recently. There's a lot. There's an amateur show to the last 3 weekends, and there's ones after my fight. So the gym's been busy. As well as that, we've got pros like we've got a guy in Bellator tomorrow night with Andy Young and the same as me with Norman back in camp. So we have a lot going on at the gym, but like that only creates for good vibes and it's exciting times.
Oh, it's nice to see Norman's kind of discrepancies cleared up now with whatever was going on in MMA because it was just a mental. And then finally, I saw on social media, looked at it on my phone, and went, "What's going on here, KSW?"
Yeah, like Norman, okay, like he lives on Twitter sometimes. He puts it all for people to see, which is why a lot of people can relate to Norman.
Mm.
But then I was going in the gym on Tuesday night, and I was on Twitter and seen that he's fighting Boris, and then I seen Norman. I was like, "Are you fighting this guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." I was like, that sums Norman up. You kind of find out on Twitter first what he's at, and then he tells you. But no, listen, I'm happy for him, and I'm looking forward to helping him prepare, and I'm going to make that trip over as well. So
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, yeah. Well, look, I want to look and go towards a KSW event because the production and everything they put in there just looks phenomenal. Looks great entertainment. That
some
as a whole.
yeah, I was in their show in Dublin when he fought Gamera, and like I still get goosebumps thinking about standing there just watching it. It was absolutely crazy.
And let's talk about then your training that you're doing because your strength and conditioning. Let's talk about that because you remind me kind of like a Jack Grant, the strong, skinny kind of thing
Yeah,
going on.
I cut
Uh,
off.
oh, here we go. Have you got a phone call coming in by any chance?
Nah, sorry, I cut off.
Ah, don't worry.
Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back. Yeah, it's all good. Is it? Here we go. Is it Anu dos Santos? Is it pronounced?
Yeah, Arno. So Arno's actually a teammate of mine. He's a teammate as well as being a strength and conditioning
Ah,
coach.
okay.
So that is a crazy, crazy benefit to the game. A lot of these coaches they actually don't understand what the athlete does, or
Yes.
or not only do they not understand, but they're not around it enough. Where Arno literally has known me for the last 6 years. He knows the gym. He knows how far I have to drive. He knows absolutely everything about my life. Plus, he knows all the people I'm around, so it gives him an added advantage. His training's absolutely, I literally can't preach it enough. It's so specific. Like It's just crazy, and the benefits that it's brought to my game. I'm approaching nearly working with him a year, and honestly, it's such a difference.
Yeah, because it does help obviously getting the conditioning right because your body's still growing into itself. You know, you're still getting that, as they say, man strength. You know, you're like your late teens, you know, your early 20s, and then you start to get that going. Are you noticing that now with this kind of strength and conditioning structure? Whereas, let's say you compare yourself to 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you know, your physique and everything. Are you starting to see this like this crazy difference now?
Yeah, like I say this in no exaggeration. Like when I started with Arnold, we done like a few test numbers and a few
Yeah.
test lifts, and I'm literally hitting double them lifts, like double of everything, you know. So, it's crazy what I kind of was performing at, like in levels of strength and conditioning compared to what I'm at now. But as you said, like with me growing up in the sport, like I literally started at 16. I'm now 23, and I'm just growing with the sport. And as you said, like I noticed massive changes in like the body and just everything. Yeah, like even weight wise and everything's a big change. But as you said, it's maybe just my man strength coming through.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is, man. Strength. So obviously, then with that, obviously you got to be careful that you're not growing too much. And what I mean by that is like physically, you know, you're not putting on too much mass because then you have to start weight cutting a bit more. You have to cut down more weight. Is that something that he's managing? Then he's not pushing it too much so that you're having too much of a struggle with the cuts. What's going on with that?
Yeah, he does all. He This is the number. He does all the nutrition.
Oh, nice.
He's
Look,
a
I'm liking this guy.
he's a qualified nutritionist. Yeah, you should have him on the show, not me. No, he's listen. I put so much faith in him. Like I
Yeah.
literally, I text him like I can text him, should I eat this or this or like he sends me it all, but like if my weight, I text him my weight in the morning and he says, yeah, don't eat this, eat this instead, or so it's absolutely perfect. But he has to monitor my weight, so yeah, he's just a perfectionist. That's the problem. But that also makes him a very good coach. He
Yeah.
wants me at exact numbers at exact points, and if not, we change something to get there.
That's fantastic having that. I suppose then that for you takes a massive weight off your shoulders and mind because you don't have to. I say you don't have to think about it, but you don't have that added stress because you know, as you know yourself, when you were growing up in the sport, it's horrible cutting weight. It's horrible looking at food, going, "Is that too much? Is that too little? What is it? Can I
Like
eat it?" It's
uh,
horrible.
not knowledge is power.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Knowledge is power. And before, like I remember like towards the end of my amateur career, I was literally using like calorie calculators online and literally just eating whatever fit them's calories, you know. And then
Oh,
I
nightmare.
went I went to Arno, and Arno was like, with the system I had worked. I've never missed weight, but the problem was I wasn't getting enough nutrients. I wasn't getting enough goodness from my food. You know, yes, the calories were grand and whatever, but it just I'm just an athlete now. Where before I was just winging it. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
but it
It's
worked.
cr- yeah. Well, yeah. You did all right for yourself.
Yeah, it worked.
Let's look at the training camp and coming to cage. I'm just how's your training though developed over the years? And you say you obviously strength and conditioning now, but you and the guys, last thing you want to do is get stale. What are you guys doing to keep it inventive? You know, what are you doing to add things? What are you guys doing there at Next Gen Up and Northern Ireland? What is it you're changing maybe just to keep everything fresh?
Yeah, I tell you what, we are. We're consistent. Like we are so consistent. Like, and I say that, and that you said about it going stale, but I
Yeah,
think we thrive off the grind. We thrive off the turning up, doing the same basic movements. We do the basics so well, and that's because we've been doing this grind for the last 8 years. Like, obviously we all like I'm full time, so I do my own during the day, and that's where I get my mix. But
yeah.
like our evening classes are the same. Obviously, fresh content, but it's very important. If you don't know your basics, then you can't really know the fancy stuff yet. So
Yeah, yeah.
we're just grinders, and we're a very mindset strong gym. So if you can't stand the heat in the kitchen, then you better get out, kind of thing.
No,
Uh,
I agree.
but like during my training in the day and stuff, that's where I'll have a bit more fun and mix it up. Like I played with I've used a lot more rowing than I've ever used this time. So which has been fun too. Like I like to mix everything up. I'm not. I like to use myself as a bit of a guinea pig at times and just try stuff.
Yeah, see how your body see if it likes it and see how it agrees. I agree. The fundamentals are key. For example, a jab. This is the most basic thing in the world, but a lot of people don't really use it or utilize it. You think to yourself, that dictates the space, it dictates the pace, it breaks up the opponent's kind of flow. It's a huge weapon, but a lot of people don't just use basics like that.
Crazy. Like obviously I've got my own gym as well I run, so like you some nights you're covering the jab and you kind of see people's eyes rolling, but they don't understand that you can attack with a jab, you can defend with a jab, you can feint with a jab, you
Yeah.
can level change with a jab, you can do anything with a jab or a right hand or a left hook, and it's mad. Basics is everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you can nail the basics, like you say, you can win fights with just the basics.
One
That's a,
hundred, 100%. I literally that's what I believe in so much. Like I
yeah.
believe that.
Well, you look at let's say Edson Barboza's spinning wheel kick. How
Yeah.
many fights are won that way?
Mhm.
And how
Mhm.
many fights are won with a simple 1-2?
Mhm. I know. Yeah. I know.
That's all it is. Or like a 1-2-3, pop a little hook on in, and there you go. You get
Even
round the
like
guard.
you can even go as far as like my fight with Jefferson George. I literally beat him with the jab.
Yeah,
You know, I broke his will with the jab and eventually put him away for flurry. But it was the jab that done 95% of the work.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
It was killing him because he couldn't close that distance because he needed to get a little. He needed to get closer. It just couldn't. He just couldn't get in because it kept breaking his rhythm. And
Hmm.
like you say, the frustration obviously then showed because then he started to leave the cracks and openings. And like you said, you took full advantage of it.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And that's the thing. Your age, you've got the fighter IQ though, of someone who's been around a lot longer because you notice those cracks, those little gaps that appear in fighters. You notice when there's opportunities and that kind of killer moment, the instinct to take over. Because a lot of fighters sometimes don't do that. They kind of let it carry on. You think, well, he's there for the taking.
Hmm. Yeah. Like and you said about the younger and the fight IQ. I think a lot of my opponents they come in the fight and they, you know, oh, Chris is young. I'll not be the same as the last opponent, but they
Yeah.
see when they're in there with me that I'm not a 23-year-old boy. I'm an absolute veteran in there, and I'll swarm you and drown you. Before you know it, the ref will be pulling me off. So, and that's how it is. I find a weakness and I exploit it. My pressure's too much, and I'll drown people.
And look, I'm absolutely buzzing to see you in this kind of Cage Warriors lightweight division. Super excited when I saw the fight when I saw you announced that you've signed to Cage Warriors. I was because I know the talent they've got there in the lightweight division. So I was absolutely buzzing to see your name in there because I thought the matchups are disgusting that they can make. There's going to be just savage fights after savage fights, and then there's obviously title fights to throw in there. And I'm absolutely jaunted at the bits to see you compete, not just this fight, but just regularly. Just this year is going to be fantastic for Cage Warriors and yourself, I'm sure. But before I let you go, Rhys, because I've actually got an interview with your teammate Andy in about
Oh, lovely.
in 5 minutes. Yeah, so it's not to be rude. So I'm going to interview Andy in about 5 minutes. So I'll have a little chat with him. But before I let you go, mate, give us your social media so people can jump on, give you a follow.
Yeah, I'm just Rhys McKee, MMA everywhere. So, and that pretty much describes my life. Rhys McKee followed by MMA, and that is it.
Then that is it. And then what about sponsors? Who's helping out fight camps? Because they are a huge part of the fight game.
Everyone, man, I couldn't sit here because I'd sit and have to thank 20 of them. So I'll just thank them all as a generic and thank everybody in Next Gen Balmina and just anybody that supports me in any shape or form, or just keep at it and join the hype while it's real.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, your gym next gen. People jump on Facebook to give it a follow if they want to, if they live near or around that area and they want to train. Is that where they go to get info on it?
Yeah, so you've got the gym where I train, where it's IMMA gym, and then you've got my own gym, which is RMK training. So whatever you fancy.
So jump on, yeah, drop a message, and I'm sure they'll come back to you so you can join. You don't have to compete, people. If you're just interested in training MMA, I'm sure you've got a ton of different classes to offer people to help them out.
Absolutely.
So it'll be like just doing gi, you know, and that's fine. It's nothing wrong with wearing the gi, especially in winter. Rhys, thanks so much for your time, mate. I'll have an absolutely great fight. Enjoy yourself on that Cage Warriors Spotlight on BT Sport and UFC Fight Pass.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much for having me.